Well, hello there, y'all. Welcome back here to Country Cuz channel. And, what we are working on is for the beginner lap steel. And as I told y'all on the last lesson, I'm tuned up in an open D. But today we're going to take it up a notch and a half, or notch there. A whole step anyway, and we're going to tune it in my favorite tuning, open E. And later on, I'll explain to y'all why I prefer the open E tuning. And it's pretty much basic reason is because I'm a guitar player, and open E, if you take the E strings on this guitar, when it's tuning in that tuning, it's the same frets as on your regular guitar in standard tuning, the top one and the bottom one, being an E string. Okay, anyway, with that being said, I just want to let y'all know that it's a great day. Boy, we had a storm come through here last night in Georgia and South Georgia. The rain and wind and lightning, the craziest lightning I ever heard in my life. I don't know if there was a tornado up in the sky, but there wasn't no wind on the ground, but something was roaring. Woke me up about 11:30 or 12. My mother called me, and that's another thing I'm going to tell you about. And then we'll get started with the lesson, or you can skip forward if you don't want to hear the gibberish to the lesson. Okay? Anyway, lightning was going boom, 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 boom. Now, that was thunder. It wasn't like boom, then flash of lightning, and then boom. It just continuously boom, 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 boom. Sound like, at first, it woke me up about 11:30, 12. I was down to sleep. It woke me up. And I thought somebody was knocking on the door. Well, the phone rung about the same time, so I answered it, and it was my mother. She stays up till midnight, just about every night, but she called and said somebody's trying to break in the back door of the house because she said they're beating on it. And I'm like, well, wait just a minute. I looked out. I said, well, Ma, it's pouring down rain and lightning. I said, let me listen. And sure enough, I heard the thunder just boom, 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 boom. Kind of like that. And then there was a roar up above it. Like that. And I just don't know what that roar was. Sometimes we have these big old jets come over. It might have been them. I just don't know. Anyway, then about, I'd say 1 or 2 o'clock this morning, it woke me up again, lightning and thunder, and then I looked out the window, and I heard the awful sound. Just whoosh. I looked out there, and boy, the bottom fell out. I had never seen so much rain coming down in just a short period of time in my life. It poured it out. And, I mean, it was like buckets of water. I couldn't even see out there. There's a street light out here. You barely could make it out because of the water coming down. Anyway, like I said, or I may not have said, today is my mother's birthday. She was born in 1925. So she'll either be 96 or 97 today, one of the two. I just trying to figure it out in my head, but anyway, one or the two. I think it's 96. But anyway, 1925, and I asked her the other day, we always talk, she lives right next door, she takes care of herself, does her own cooking, cleaning. She quit driving last year, still got a driver's license, they still good till she's 99, I think. But anyway, she still got her car too, but I do most all the driving now, and my brother Mark does too. And matter of fact, she's got to go Wednesday. Y'all keep her in your prayers and get a new battery put in her pacemaker that they put in there about 3 or 4 years ago. So anyway, but I asked her, I like to hear her talk about the old days and how things used to be compared to how they are today. And I asked her, I said, what is the greatest achievement of modern technology to you, and this is for your opinion, that you thought it, you know, that you consider? And I figured she'd say something like the telephone or the automobile, something like that, but no, sir. She said the greatest joy in her life of newfangled things, is what she calls it, was an indoor bathroom. She said growing up on the farm, they had an outhouse, and she said they built it maybe 30 or 40 yards away from the house. But she said also they didn't have running water, they had a well, and they also didn't have a bathtub with hot and cold running water. They had a big old tub. She said they'd bring on the back porch that was, actually said hers was fancy because it was screened in and they could throw curtains up there around it where nobody could look or see if there was somebody out in the field somewhere, and the girls could take a bath. There was 3 girls. My mother's got 3 sisters, and my mother's the oldest of them, and the middle one just passed away the other day, and that was just a few weeks back. But anyway, can you imagine having to get up in the middle of the night and go outside, no matter how cold, how hot, rain or shine, sleet or snow, to go to the bathroom? Can you imagine having to take chopped wood for your stove, put a bucket of water on the stove and wait till it warms up, and then go back to the well and get the bathtub filled up with well water, and then pour the hot water over in there, and then check it until you got the right temperature to get in there to take a bath. So to her, the greatest invention was the indoor bathroom. And I'll have to agree with her. You know, especially when you get older, you got to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom. Can you imagine getting up and having to stumble down the doorsteps to go outside every time? You know, of course, they did have them old pots, bedpan pots, pea pot, or whatever you want to call it, they put by their bed, but, you know, sometimes you had to do something besides go in a pot. Anyway, and then you'd have to tote that stinking stuff out, or you'd have to put it inside your bed, smell that all night. Whew. So bathroom, number 1, high technology equipment, according to my mother, that was invented since she was a little girl in 1925. Also, I do remember going to my grandma and granddaddy's house when I think I was 15 when they built their bathroom, because I remember they had an outhouse and they didn't have running water. And I remember my granddaddy had a well dug, got pipes hooked up to the house, and put a pipe into, built a kitchen, sink. They already had a kitchen, just no sink in it. And but they put a sink, and it was a big old cast iron sink. And then they put a bathtub. He built a square room about big as this bedroom here. Put a sink, a bathtub in it. They didn't have a shower. That was before a shower was invented, but they had a bathtub there. But the neatest thing they had also in the bathroom, because it was over in the corner, was a hot water heater. Now that was high technology. They had gas heat, them old space heaters back then, but they didn't have hot water until they got their well and a hot water heater. And of course, soon after that, all the same year, they built in a bathroom with hot and cold running water and a bathtub to take a bath in, a sink to shave in or wash up. And also, I remember they put a mirror on the wall right there, because I remember my granddaddy had an old cup that he'd soap up when he'd shave. He had a straight razor to start with, but he got modern and went to one of those old 2-way razors that opened up. You put the blades in and close them back down. They stuck out on both sides. I don't know if y'all remember that. I think I still got one that belonged to my granddad. Anyway, I just thought I'd put that out. Happy birthday to my mother. I want to thank all of my subscribers out there, and I'm pretty amazed at how many people was actually watching and enjoying my beginner lessons on getting started with lap steel. So with further ado, you can either watch this part or skip it. What I promised you was I was going to tune it up to open E. So I'm going to start, we always call this little string the first string. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-string lap steel. And I'll start over there, but I'm gonna turn my tuner on and I'm gonna see if I hope the battery ain't dead. Nope, there you go. But right now, if you see, I'm tuning an open D, cause right there you see a D. Alright, now I can't hold this up and turn this knob, but when I'm tuning, being I'm using the little mic right here, that's a mic. It says mic. Not like a friend of mine, Mike Johnson, but this is a mic like you pick up voice. Ooh, see, I can tune my own voice. And another thing y'all can do, you might not realize, if you got a CD or a record you want to play the lap steel over and you don't know what key they play it in, turn this tuner on, hold it by the speaker and watch what it comes up to the most, and you can figure out what key it in. Just like me, I'm pretty much talking in the key of A. And we do the same thing. Sometimes we have somebody sing and they don't know what key they want to do the song in, and we'll tell them to go there and sing the song a cappella without music comfortably, and I'll hold up my tuner and figure out what key they're the closest to, and then we'll start playing it. So anyway, we're gonna tune this lap steel guitar now. So I'm gonna put this down where I can see it, and I'm gonna start right here with that. But I'm in a D, so I'm gonna raise it. Now it's an E flat, so alright, let me show you what we got. Now I want to tune and that green light to come on the pick. Cause see, if you just let it ring and descend, it's gonna, pitch will be lowered. And that's the way I tune my guitar also. Alright, the next one, that first string's a E, so the next one's gonna be a B. There's our B. The next one is going to be a G sharp. That's the third string counting from here. 1, 2, 3. So G sharp. Right now it's a F sharp, but I'm going to take it up. See, it's a little high. I'm going to go over here, and instead of moving the tuning peg, I'm going to just take my finger, push down on the string, still a little high. Now guess what? It wasn't high, it was low. I might tighten it a little bit, folks. I'm looking at this little screen right here, and it's a little old tiny thing on my camera, and it's backwards. I was thinking low was high, high was low. So anyway, we got that in tune. What we got now is a E, a B, a G sharp. Well, guess what? The next one is. That's right, it's an E. No more. then the next one's gonna be a B. Alright, it went a little sharp. So I'm gonna push down on the string a little bit. That's good enough. I mean, it ain't, as long as you get a green light, you good. Because I can pick it hard to make that red light. See there? Come on. All right, next string, last one's an E. Listen to how it sounds. Alright, now we in an open E tuning, and I'm going to put the tuning right down here across, right here, and that way you can see it, but you know it, it's open E. So now that you got your guitar tuned up, and the old trick that I taught y'all in the part 2 video about one first fret you put your bar on, 6 away, still the 4 chord. Then 8 away is the 5 chord, and that was a G at the 3rd fret. A C at the 8th fret, a D at the 10th fret. So if you've not played anything on your guitar that made any sense yet, or that you enjoyed, or like, do that. Put your bar on the 3rd fret. You can just pick, or if you're using finger picks, go to the 8th fret. Then the 10th fret. You can walk to it, or then to make it sound pretty, give it a slide down to the 8th fret, which that goes from the D to the C. Put that 9th fret in there too. Then go back to the 10th fret. Then finalize at the G. You can either go or you can go slide like that. Depends on what sound you're going for. Hand movement determines, just like them. See, picking pattern changes the tempo changes what the song's doing. It's like changing it from country to rock and roll or classical or whatever. It's all in how you do it, like strumming or Picasso in it. Changed the way I was picking, using the same notes, and got a different sound. I did go and use the 2-chord in that progression because that was at the A. So if you in a G and you want to, some of our songs, you just go to the 2-chord. That is setting you up to go to that D. So that's a G, A, that's an A. Then the D. Alright, that right there is what I call skipping. I'm going to show y'all. Start back at your G, and what we going to do, when you go 3 frets, that's 1, 2, 3, or you could say 1, 2, but we're going to go to an A. Now, that's called a whole step. Then the next whole step is going to be a B, so that's going to sound like this. And then we're going to land on the C, so it sounds like this. See how it went? And that's what I like about a lap steel, is doing all these. Slide in and out. I went up here to the 15th fret, and that's also a G. what I'm going to do, I'm going to make, this is part 3, but part 3 is going to have, coming up with a part 4, because what I'm going to do on part 4, somebody's wanting to know about my pedals, and of course, right now, the only effect I'm using is in this little PV Viper amp. And if you'll click on that thing up there in the YouTube box that says videos and see all my videos, you can scroll down and I actually go through setting up my amp to get this sound. And what I'm using is a little bit of a compressor on this amp, so I use compression. Now, I don't have to have compression. Compression takes your chords or your note and it equalizes them out. Basically, it pretty much lets that string and that string be the same volume to the listener, is what I understand it as, you know, and it tightens it up, but I use a little bit of it. And now delay, boy, I'm just barely using delay. However, when I get into my pedal board, I'll show you I've got some serious delay for it. But here you can't hardly hear my delay. Matter of fact, you hear mostly my reverb. But anyway, hear that? That's reverb, and that reverb gives you that big room sound, and I wouldn't want to play without reverb. If I couldn't have but one effect in my arsenal of all the effects ever made, reverb would be the #1 that I'd want. As far as music goes, there's no music that can't be not played on this lap steel that I know of. You can play, you can't make it sound like a saxophone or slide trombone, but you can play what they're playing, that's what I'm saying. Rock and roll. To play something like that rock and roll, I would use a pedal down here called a super overdrive, and I'm gonna demonstrate the pedal board next. Stay tuned. But I wanted y'all to see how I got my tuning by not like most people do it like that and tune it, but I don't do that. I go, I want my tuning to be on the pick stroke. Like that. that's where I want my tuning, in which, you know, we call it, and it is 440 standard tuning. That's 440 hertz. And I'm not going to get into all of them either, because I don't like hertz, I like happies. Okay, and that was a joke. All right. Anyway, we got that out of the way. We got it tuned up, and I'm showed y'all the. And if you're more advanced and want to make it fancier, just start at the F and pick these two strings, the second and the third, like this. I'm using that pull-up pinch method for that. Then skip string. There you go. I want to wish each and every one of y'all a happy Sunday. There, my brother's coming out, and we're going to go over there and surprise my mother for her birthday. I bought her a new set of cookware. I just looked around her house to see what she needs. And she got these Towncraft pans. They're made out of stainless steel. The bottoms on the darn things are that thick. And I know the other day she was complaining. She asked me to set the pan on the stove because she said it weighed a ton. And I'll agree, that's a heavy darn frying pan, and it's huge. And she don't have a small pan. And believe it or not, Towncraft people lie. I'm going to say that. I'm sorry about that. If you're a Towncraft salesman and don't lie, I hope you are. But my salesman, boy, I done forgot his name. But anyway, he's been here for years, but he moved off. But he promised us a whole bunch of stuff that he never come through with. Then he said the pans was guaranteed for life, and the handles is all broke off, a bunch of them, and he won't do nothing about that. So, you know, he just says, call the company. But he's still selling it and having them parties. And I bought the power stuff from him. His name's Bridges. That's it. But evidently, I think he's a crook and a liar. I hate to say that, but I hope he sees the video and knows what I think, because I'm just tired of his bull jive about telling me, yeah, I'll come down there one day and we'll put your handle back on or we'll swap it out. And he's been saying that for 10 years now, so I give up on that hope for sure. But y'all have a great day, because I know I am. I'm ready to go out there, and my wife just went out and waved at me when I was doing this video. She's going out to feed her kitty cat herd, and then I got to go over to my mama's. She got about 8 cats over there now that we feed, and she only owns 4, so 4 of them is snuck up from the woods from somebody or somewhere in the neighborhood. But we got 4 new cat additions that we're feeding, and well, that's all right. They are fur babies, and I feed them, you know. So y'all be safe. It look like it's gonna be a rainy, wet day, but I think all the bad stuff's gone. Went through last night. I got to go out and look around, see if we got damages from all that booming and wind howling and all. I just don't know. I don't see no limbs down, but I hadn't looked out in the backyard and around the barn yet. Y'all take care of yourself, and I'm gonna do probably another part of this video this evening, so y'all come on by later today or in the morning, and we'll have this will be part 3 or 4. I forgot. I think it's gonna be part 3. But it may be 4. But anyway, we'll have them in part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 5. But we'll do the pedal boards on the next one. And we'll go from Pink Floyd style music to Deep Purple style to Hank Williams Sr. style. And I'll show you some of my pedal boards and some of the settings on them. Y'all take care now. Come back and see me. If you're not subscribed down there, you don't want to miss these series, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. And I thank each and every one of y'all. Hope y'all have a great week, people.